ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Eisenhower Eagle Football Review. I'm here with Coach Chris Smith, and Coach, 31-24 double overtime win against Warren Mott. A game we thought that you had won in regulation, 21-14, and I mean your heart had to sink when they came on that last play and got a miracle touchdown.
Yeah, I mean it's a miracle, but their quarterback I thought was, at the beginning of the year was the best quarterback in the league, and he's a tough kid. He actually hurt his hand last week. And, he wasn't supposed to play today, and the kid's just a tough kid and great playmaker, and I saw him make plays like that last year. And so, we knew we had to keep playing. The game wasn't over, and we couldn't make any mistakes even with that short time left because that kid can beat you at any point.
The beginning of the game, Warren Mott got the ball first, drove all the way down the field, scored touchdown, and you're thinking, okay. But then Eisenhower comes back and scores a touchdown, and then there's no scoring for the rest of the first half. What were you thinking about that at that time, that it's going to be a tuggle like this?
Yeah, no, I thought it would go back and forth. It's a playoff-type game. It's, a home game for them. And we both are 4-3 fighting to get into the playoffs. They're a good football team. They beat, Stevenson last week. And so I knew it was going to be a battle. It was going to be a war right to the end. I didn't expect it to be a double overtime game. But that's just the way these games are in the MAC Red.
A couple of officiating calls that were kind of questionable tonight. I don't expect you to comment on that, but the guys had to fight. They were letting the kids play pretty much.
Right. I talked to the officials before the game, and they said they're going to let the kids play, and I appreciate that from officials. I thought they did a great job. I didn't see anything that was wrong with what they, the calls that they made. I just thought it was a great officiated game, and it was a game that you want in a big game like this. You want the officiating like that. So I thought they did a nice job.
Talk about your quarterback, Bradshaw, managing that game for you here on offense.
Yeah, you know what? He didn't throw the ball really well today, but we didn't need to. We could. We ran the ball good, and I told him, at halftime, just be the point guard out there. That's what we told him. And but Coach John DeGiorgio, the offensive coordinator, did a great job of calling plays, and the same with Dave Brzezinski on defense. I mean, those guys have really worked their butts off and had a great game plan, and they stuck to the game plan here. So
it's fourth down in overtime. Eisenhower's down by a field goal. Your quarterback gets caught back, and so you're looking at a 41-yard basic field goal there. We noticed the wind kind of died down a little bit, yeah. And it was a while before you had to kick it. How many promises did you make of being good?
No, you know what? The funny thing is Rob's really been clutch for us all year. He's made some big field goals for us all year, and I had no doubt. I just felt good about, I didn't feel good about the penalty, and then I didn't feel good about the sack that we gave up. But I felt good about leaving it in his hands, and he's really worked hard to be in that position, and he hasn't let us down yet this year. So I felt good about that situation. In fact, we were already talking to our team, our offense, about what we were going to do next.
Yeah, but you don't want to be caught in that situation ever again.
Well, nobody wants to be caught in that situation, but the good thing is when you are, you stay calm and you let the kids make those plays. It's their game, it's their team. They've worked their butts off, and they do it together as a team, and you give them that opportunity, and most of the time a kid will come through for you.
And tell us a little bit about their fourth down play, their last chance. In double overtime, and you stop him short of the goal line. At that moment, what was going through your mind?
I couldn't believe we, gave up a 65-yard touchdown pass on 4th and 7 with, a minute left in the game. Those same things that anything would go, through everybody's mind. How did it happen? But it happened. Their kid made a great play. He fumbled the ball. He kicked it. He picked it up. He avoided a sack, and then he scrambled out and found a guy deep. It was just one of those. If he didn't fumble the ball right when he got the snap, they probably don't get a touchdown there. We may stop him, but it just happens he fumbled it, and our defensive backs came up to help with the short stuff, and if he took off running, and
Well, I'm sure if we took your cap off tonight, we'd find a couple of gray hairs there.
Right. I think I've got a few more gray hairs tonight. Correct.
Okay, Coach. Well, next week, Romeo, you got to come in with a big victory, and you can guarantee a spot in the playoffs. And I know you want to go out on a winning note. So tell us a little bit about what you know about Romeo and what you might expect.
This is Romeo Eisenhower. I mean, it's a great rivalry. We go to their place, and their field conditions are not always great, and it's always a battle, and I think it's their homecoming, and so it's just another thing added on to it, and I just expect another playoff type game, another great game, another great battle between Romeo and Eisenhower.
You expect some players back that are a little banged up?
I hope there's some players back that are banged up, but the players that we got right now playing for them are doing a good job. The other guys are just getting some rehab, and hopefully they can come back. But if they don't, then we just play on.
Well, best of luck to you next week, and Eisenhower had to be tough in the trenches tonight, and nobody experienced it more than Trevor Curle. And Trevor, talk a little bit about what it was like there in the dogfight there in the trenches.
We came out in the first half. We were flat. Coach Smith, Coach Layson got into us a little bit at halftime, and I think we came out in the second half and we played great. It really showed our offensive line was a lot better than their defensive line.
Talk a little bit about, you were able to get a lot of yards on the ground and push them a little bit. Unfortunately, didn't get into the red zone enough, or didn't get into the end zone enough when you were in the red zone. But it looked like you were able to have your way a little bit with them.
Yeah, we moved the ball pretty good. We got into their side of the 50 a lot, and our drives just stalled out. They started to figure out our offense a little bit, but sometimes that happens. You got to move on.
And in the second half, Joe Metz was a little bit more effective. And tell us what kind of plays was he running? I mean, that made it that way.
Yeah, it was just straight dive. And as an offensive lineman, we love having a kid like Joe running the ball. We call him the bowling ball, and he's just hard to bring down. He always falls forward, and he always gets the most possible yards.
As one of the team leaders, your regulation, you see this last desperation pass go up, and it gets out of the outstretched arms, or over the outstretched arms of Nick out there. And what were you thinking when you were watching that guy around the end zone?
I was thinking they got athletes. Sometimes that happens. They make plays at the end of the game, and we got to get focused to win this game in overtime, and that's what we did.
And talk about the feeling of the team when they were stopped, when Warren Mott was stopped there right at the goal line.
Oh, that was awesome. With all the students coming on the field, the coaches, it was a great feeling.
Well, I know you want to say hello to some folks out there, so go ahead.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and my grandparents.
One of Eisenhower's players of the game is Nick Sedlock. And Nick, you had a touchdown reception tonight, and you also had a big fumble recovery stopping a drive for Warren Mott. First, tell us a little bit about the touchdown play and how that came about.
Well, in practice all week, we've been working that fade stop, and it's been really working, so put it in, scored a touchdown.
You had it when the ball was in the air?
Oh, I knew I had it. I knew. We've been working it all week. One play I was in, I had to get it.
Talking now a little bit about how that fumble came about that you recovered.
Well, the team was taught, quarterback's got an injured hand. You got to strip the ball, and we got a strip, just saw the ball on the ground, took the opportunity, and fell on it.
A little bit about the game tonight. It looked like Eisenhower could have scored some more points tonight. Your drives some of them fizzled down into the red zone. What do you think that was attributed to?
I mean, you can't play a perfect football game. Everyone makes mistakes, and it's just how you get back up from those mistakes, and I thought we did a great job of that, and it just worked out.
And finally, you guys are up 21-14, their last play in regulation, and all of a sudden you look up and the guy is going for a touchdown. What was your thoughts there?
I wasn't worried, to be honest. I knew we had another shot, so did they. So mistakes happen. You just got to bounce back from them.
Okay, I know you want to say hello to some folks out there, so go ahead.
I'd like to thank my parents and everyone who comes out to the game.
Eisenhower's offensive star of the game, Joe Metz. And Joe, 110 yards on the ground, touchdown, and got to feel pretty good about tonight's performance.
Yeah, my line helped me out a lot. They're the number one cause of my success on the game this week.
I had some big gainers tonight, but you also had some that were probably very tough 3 and 4 yards.
Yeah, they didn't know how to tackle. It's mostly arm tackling. Just ran through it.
You got that touchdown at the end of the game. What did that feel like in overtime?
It was crazy. Everyone was going crazy. Everyone was touching me. It was crazy, I guess.
A little bit slow warming up. They didn't really go to you much in the first half, but in the second half you got the ball more. And did the coaches tell you were going to get it more?
No, I don't blame them for not giving me the ball. I came out pretty flat, not a lot of energy.
And what do you think about the victory tonight? What did you sense tonight as a team? How'd that help the team?
It was a great sense of bonding, and we came together to push past our opponent.
How do you feel about next week's game at Romeo? Do you think you guys can maybe clinch that playoff spot with a victory?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I know you want to say hello to some folks out there, so I'll let you do that.
I want to say hello to my family, my coaches, and every one of my offensive linemen that blocked for me tonight.
Hi, my name is Doug Wozniak. I'm a licensed Michigan attorney, but I'm also licensed as a Michigan real estate broker. If you have any questions concerning real estate, particularly new building construction, easements, boundary disputes, anything at all, please give me a call, 586-781-9190.
Esplendido Mexican Cuisine. Esplendido serves time-tested and taste bud-approved Mexican cuisine that's often copied but never duplicated. Of course, you can still get that famous Esplendido pizza. Dine in or carry out. Almost 30 years of serving great meals to good friends. Esplendido. Good food, spirits, and celebration. Call 586-739-1070.
Thought there was no better way to do that than to put on the striped shirt and pick up a whistle and stop complaining about the officials and go do something about it.
And there was guys that were nice enough to do it and volunteer their time when I was a kid coming through school, so I'm just paying it forward.
Initially, I got into officiating because I was a coach and I wanted to learn more about our sport. Now I officiate because I want to make a difference.
You can be a referee.
The Eisenhower Eagles traveled to Warren Mott for a clash with the Marauders. Both teams had records of 4-3. Both teams needed a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. To begin the game, Warren Mott had the football. Number 14, Javon Wilson, who would be a thorn in the Eagles' side all night, gained 8 yards on this play. Then number 9, quarterback Connor Madigan hits number 11, Tylene Redding, who takes it 40 yards down to the Eagle 1 before Nick Ribbing knocks him out. It was a 1-yard plunge after that, and all of a sudden the Marauders took the lead 7-0. When Ike got the ball, Jake Bradshaw went right to work and gets the ball to number 3, Kadari Johnson, who gets 15 yards on this play. It's Kadari Johnson again for 10 more yards on this confusing play. Andrew Sukowski gets good blocking on the sweep here, and that's 18 yards. Jake Bradshaw hits Nick Sedlock from 8 yards out for the touchdown. The extra point was good, and the score was now tied at 7. For the Marauders, it's 4 and out on their next drive as the Eagle defense comes up big. On Eisenhower's next drive, number 39, Joe Metz, who would have over 115 yards rushing on the night. None were more tougher than these 3. Number 27, Andrew Sukowski, gets 6 more yards on this run. Jake Bradshaw would drop back to pass, fire a pass over the middle, and it's picked off by Warren Mott.
After the turnover, the Marauders come out firing. Madigan's pass is good here for 12 yards. Madigan decides to keep the football and run. That was a big mistake as Logan Friedel and number 41, Colin Kasiliak, team up to stop him here. Warren Mott would be pushed back by penalties, and number 53, Jake Corey, pushed them back even farther. The first quarter would end with the score, Eisenhower 7, Warren Mott 7. To begin the second quarter, it was 3rd and long for Warren Mott. Tylene Redding would get a good gainer on this play. However, it was short of a first down, and the Marauders were forced to punt. Number 39, Joe Metz, would get 8 yards here on this run, and the Eagles were moving. Then it's Joe Metz again for 5 more tough yards. With it 4th and 1 on the Marauder 40, Jake Bradsher tries to make it and comes up short, and the ball is turned over on downs to Warren Mott. Warren Mott fires right back as Connor Madigan hits a couple of big passes here. First one here good for 17 yards, and the next one would be good for 8 yards. Despite the Marauders' offensive success, number 14, Javon Wilson, gets stripped of the football by Eisenhower. The Eagles recover the fumble, and it's 1st and 10, Ike. The Eagles would go 4 and out after the turnover. However, Ike's defense would stop Warren Mott on 4 and out as well. Eisenhower would get the ball back. Jake Bradsher makes a couple of good runs here. The final play of the first half would be this nifty run by number 3, Kadari Johnson. The score at halftime, Ike 7, Marauder 7. Eisenhower started the second half with the football. Jake Bradsher takes advantage of that with this 15-yard run. The Eagles march all the way down to the Marauder 16-yard line, and on 4th and 6 they go for it. Andrew Sokowski is stopped short. On Warren Mott's next drive, the Eagles, Anthony Saputo causes this fumble, which is recovered by Nick Sedlock. Brandon Metcalf would get good yardage here on this sweep around the right side, good for 18 yards, and a first down, Eisenhower. Jack Provencher goes in from 7 yards out for the score, and it's 14-7 Eisenhower after the extra point was kicked by the Eagles' Robert Smith. On the Marauders' next possession, tough Eagle defense would force them to punt. The punt was partially blocked by number 66, Jojo Sukar, but the Eagles are penalized and start deeper in their own territory than they expected. As we move into the fourth quarter, the Eagle offense was sputtering, and then they turned to number 39, Joe Metz. The Eagles get out of the hole with the help of Joe Metz, and they get down to the Warren Mott 37 where it's 4th down. This pass goes incomplete, and the Marauders take over 1st and 10. The Marauders go to number 14, Javon Wilson. He does not disappoint as he goes 68 yards for the touchdown. The extra point was good. The score was tied with 6:04 left to play in the game, 14-14. The Eagles would start their final drive for the end zone with this pass to Brandon Metcalf. It's good for 8 yards. Jake Bradsher runs here, gets face mask, and so tack on another 15 yards. Another 6 tough yards by Joe Metz. Here's Kadari Johnson with a big 15-yard run. Then Joe Metz would score the Eagle touchdown with 1:24 to go. The point after was good, and Ike led now 21-14. Ike's defense looked like they had secured an Eagle victory with these plays. On 4th down, it looked like the game would be over, as the snap from center is a low one. It's fumbled around by Connor Madigan. However, he picks it up and scrambles to his right and finds number 11, Tylene Redding, with this bomb. It goes 70 yards for the score. The point after was good, and we are headed to overtime, tied at 21s. Jacob Friedel tips this potential touchdown pass away. Warren Mott's number 16, Andreas Dimitru, would come on and kick this field goal, and Mott led in the overtime 24-21. On Ike's first offensive play of the overtime, Andrew Sulkowski looks like he scores. However, the Eagles were penalized for holding. On 4th down and 25, the Eagles would call upon number 97, Robert Smith, to kick this clutch 42-yard field goal. And we are headed to the second overtime. The Eagles got the ball first in the second overtime, and this time they go to Joe Metz, and he delivers. Metz would score from 4 yards out. The extra point was good, and now Ike led in the overtime, 31-24. On 4th and 1 with the game on the line, the Marauders give the football to Javon Wilson. The officials say that he is stopped short of the goal line by the Eagles. Eisenhower claims victory. The final score, the Eisenhower Eagles 31, the Warren Mott Marauders 24. After their hard-fought victory over Warren Mott, the Eagles return to Eisenhower one step closer to clinching a playoff berth.
A lot of stars. We know we're a little bit flat for this game, but it's great to come out here, just like we talked about. Every game's like a playoff. This is a playoff team, and this is what the playoffs feel like, just like this. Every game's tough. 2 weeks in a row, you found a way to win late in the game. You found a way to win. And hey. 1-0 this week. We go 1-0 again next week.
Hi, my name is Doug Wozniak. I'm a licensed Michigan attorney, but I'm also licensed as a Michigan real estate broker. If you have any questions concerning real estate, particularly new building construction, easements, boundary disputes, anything at all, please give me a call, 586-781-9190.
Esplendido Mexican Cuisine. Esplendido serves time-tested and taste bud-approved Mexican cuisine that's often copied but never duplicated. Of course, you can still get that famous Esplendido pizza. Dine in or carry out. Almost 30 years of serving great meals to good friends. Esplendido. Good food, spirits, and celebration. Call 586-739-1070.
A high school football game night is a unique experience, uniting a community in so many ways and showcasing other school activities. This grand setting helps kids learn life skills and build lifetime relationships in the safest environment ever, where teacher coaches, equipment, rules, and safety protocols minimize risks. It's a true celebration of participation. Support your local school and its young people who enjoy this privilege.
Well, folks, the Eisenhower Eagles pulled a victory out of a double overtime game tonight, keeping their playoff hopes alive. But I got to tell you, it was a real heart ticker, man. The Eagles looked like they were going to win it in regulation, 21-14, and then you last play the game for Warren Mott, and boom, it's tied up, and we are going to overtime. But the Eagles scored in overtime, the go-ahead touchdown. Joe Metz came up big for Eisenhower, and then the defense came up big, stopping Warren Mott on 4th and 1 at the goal line. So a victory for Eisenhower. They go to Romeo next week and hopefully can clinch a playoff spot. For Coach Chris Smith, I'm Tim Meyer saying thank you for joining us here on the Eisenhower Eagle Football Review. We'll see you next time.